Well, hello everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I decided to bring you back on the back porch again. In case you are new to my channel, which I know that I do have some new members to my friends and family group, welcome. I'm so glad you decided to join us. Oh, there goes the sirens in the background. Sorry about that. You just never know. Trying to get this done before the kids get home from school, because living in a neighborhood now is a lot different, because we have children everywhere. So, on to the question and answers, or on to the answers for the questions. Okay, y'all know. Y'all just know. Okay, Lisa from Twyla's mom wanted to know what made me decide to have lizards for pets, and are they hard to take care of? My grandson, my youngest grandson, they were actually his to begin with. And when he moved into his own apartment, he could not take them. So I inherited them. And now I've already told him that he cannot have them back. They are not hard to take care of. Of course, you know, you have to keep their cage clean. And make sure they have water, and feed them a combination of fruits and vegetables and little meat pieces that you get from the pet store, and live crickets and live mealworms and that type of thing. So they're not hard to take care of at all. Just you have to make them a salad, you know. Okay, my eyeball wants to bother me. I have on false eyelashes today because I needed to give my eyelashes a rest from mascara all the time. And the only ones I have left were the glamour lashes, so they're like really long. It's crazy, I know. Okay, on to the next question. Teresa Ward wants to know, how old was I when I got saved, and was I raised in church? That is a funny story. I was actually 16 when I really committed myself to God. And then rededicated my life when I had my son, about 3 weeks after I had my son. So that's probably what, 22, 21, something like that. So, and as far as growing up in church, my dad was an Irish Catholic, and my mom was First Christian Church, or Baptist, which some you know, she went to both. So it was a mixed a mixed raising. But I learned a lot, and you know how it goes. You get involved with your own life, and you don't always stick to what you know. And that's all I'm gonna say. But I love my Lord, and He has blessed me so much. And wow, the testimonies that I could give you would just knock your socks off sometimes, people. Okay, and Susan J wants to know, when did I start doing crafts? And I think I've answered this several times, but I was about 8 years old the first time that I ever actually worked with my hands on a real craft, and that was with my grandmother. Laura Guthrie wants to know, would I share more about my mama? She's an angel, I'm telling you. She lived a very hard life growing up, and then when she married my dad, she continued to live a hard life, and that's a whole nother story that I'm not really going to get into because it is very personal. But she is one of the most hardworking women that I've ever known in my entire life, and she suffered from major depression. She never had the manic state of depression. She was always in the gloom depression. She spent time in the hospital for it, and it was really bad. And about 17 years ago, almost 18 years ago, her health was failing, and we went and got her and moved her in with us. And so yeah, she lived with us, and we treated her like she was the queen bee. She got to do all the things that she had wanted to do. You know, mainly just rest. And she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's about 7 years ago, and it progressively got worse. And then her physical health went down also. And I was taking care of her. We had during the last couple of years before we had to place her in a memory care facility, which was just a year and a half ago. We had an aide come in, a CNA come in 3 days a week to give me and my husband a break. And so yeah, she it's so hard watching someone with Alzheimer's as it progresses, which hers progressed after we lost our house in the fire. Hers progressed drastically, and they say any kind of traumatic event can cause that to happen, and so that's what happened with her. She's such an angel, though, and everybody at the facility, she just loves them, and they love her right back because she's so kind-hearted and so gentle. And she smiles, and, you know, she's in her own little world a lot of times. A lot of times she does know where she's at, and, you know, she's such a sweet woman. And I am so blessed to call her mom. So, yeah. Daphne Hampshire wants to know, do I like to travel? I actually do like to travel. We used to travel a lot when we were younger, and before all the health problems set in and stuff. We'd take our kids to different places, to you know, different theme parks and stuff like that. And I love to go to the mountains. I try to go at least every 2 or 3 years if I can. So, but I do like to travel. It's different now that I'm the only driver, though. My husband doesn't drive anymore due to the Parkinson's. And so I'm the only driver, so traveling is a little bit different. I can't just sit in the seat and observe everything, because I have to keep my eyes on the road. Got to be safe. But yes, I do enjoy traveling. I will not get on a plane, though, and I will not take a cruise. So if I can't drive it, I'm not going. And let's see, Chloe Mason, which is Donna, wants to know how long have I been married and how many children. And I've been married for 42 years to the same man. And I have 2 children and 2 grandchildren. Fern Wright wants to know, she says, tell us more about your crafting life. Everybody started somewhere. What did you start with? I started with my grandma doing different little crafts with her. She tried to teach me to crochet, and I just couldn't get it. So we used to do a lot of... my grandma made the coolest thing, and she used to take bread bags. Everybody would save their bread bags and bring them over to her. And she would take and cut them in strips and then braid them with... she would use 2 bread bag strips and a piece of cloth. And she would braid them into strips, and then she would take the strips and sew them and make rugs. And they were amazing. And so I used to help her do that. That was my first actual real craft. And yeah, I mean, I like to do paper crafting. I like to make cards. I like to make jewelry. I like to scrapbook. I like to make paper flowers. You name it, I like to try it all. Making jewelry, I might have said that already. Anyway, so yeah, that was the first thing that I started doing. And A. Rizzo wants to know, do I craft every day? And what time of the day? And what is my favorite craft and why? Well, I don't craft every day. I try to get in my craft room at least 4 or 5 times a week, though. And what time of day do I craft? It usually depends on what kind of day I'm having. Because with fibromyalgia, you don't know what you're going to wake up with. Some days my bones hurt. Some days my muscles are like in knots. My hands are all crimped up and won't work right. And the brain fog is like I can't focus on things. So it all depends on what kind of day I'm having. Of course, my favorite craft is sewing. And that's because my Aunt Sue taught me how to sew. Excuse me. I like to craft at night, but with the lizards in there, I have to turn their lights off at night. And so I can't really go in there and do a whole lot at night anymore. But that's okay. Need to sleep too. Okay, and Sandra Laidlow wants to know, have you ever done needle felting? I have not done that. It looks interesting, but I've just never done anything like that. I used to do some needle point. But yeah, no needle felting. Amanda White wants to know, what is my favorite holiday and do I go all out on decorating? My favorite holiday is Christmas. I absolutely love Christmas, and I start preparing for Christmas like the day after Thanksgiving. I do go all out and decorate. I'm really excited to be in the house that we are in now because I have a small banister that I can actually decorate. I put up 2 trees, one in the foyer and one in my living room. The one in my living room is 7 foot tall. No, 8 foot tall. And the colors on it are teal, white, and silver. And the one in the foyer is only a 5 foot tree, is white. And it is mainly decorated in red. But it has a lot of vintage ornaments on it too. So yeah, Christmas. I just love Christmas. I love the meaning of Christmas. I do believe that we can intertwine the Santa because I believe in the old Santa and what his goal was. The story of St. Nicholas is a wonderful story. And yeah, so that's what I taught my children about. Of course, the birth of our Savior and the story of St. Nicholas. So yeah. And I love vintage Christmas. Oh my gosh. Although my tree's kind of modern in the living room, but yes, Christmas, definitely. Okay, and the next question. And I've only got 6 questions left. I'm going to try to get them all in this video so that I can do one more video on my husband and myself and our love story. Sylvia 51NC wants to know, how old are my children? Do they live near, and do I see them often? My son is 30. He'll be 37 this year, and my daughter will be 40. And of course, I raised my 2 grandsons, and they are the oldest one just turned 22, and the youngest one turns 20. He'd shoot me. 20 in November. And they do all live in the, within the vicinity where they can come over, and I see them not as often as I would like, but as often as time allows for them with their jobs and everything. So, yes. Okay, Virginia Story wants to know, as a child, what was my favorite toy, doll, etc. I didn't really have a favorite toy. I had a cat that the sweet nun gave me when I was about 7 years old, and that poor cat went through everything. She would let me dress her up in doll clothes. So yeah, and I actually had her until I was 15. So, but yeah, that was kind of my favorite toy, doll, whatever you want to call it. She was my toy. Okay, and Cheryl Ann wanted to know my favorite craft, which is sewing. And I don't know if sewing is considered a craft. I I know it's not in a lot of worlds, but I guess it would be. And do I go to church regularly? We go to church as often as we can due to our health issues. Some days it's just not possible. But yes, we do go to church as often as we can. So yeah. Kelly P.B. P-B wants to know what started my love of peacocks. And I think I shared that story already, about the story my grandma told me. And my husband and I went on a little trip to Charleston, South Carolina one year, and we went to this plantation that had peacocks all over the place. And they would come up to you really, get really close to you and stuff like that, and fan their tail feathers. Oh my gosh, they were beautiful. And I had one white one, solid white one, come up to me and just spread its glory out. And oh my gosh, it was gorgeous. So yeah, I do love peacocks. Rose Bello wants to know more about my mama, which I just talked about. And will we meet hubby? We're going through some medical stuff right now, and one day you will meet hubby. He has promised me that one day you will get to meet him. So yeah. LaDonna Shelley wants to know my favorite color, and that is lavender and purple, and a mix, there's certain shades of purple that are toward the lighter side, almost lavender. Anything in that range. And types of craft, and I've already explained how many different types of things I do, and my favorite, of course, is sewing. So, that wraps up the Q&A part. I'm going to do one more video, and it is going to be a love story of my husband and myself, and how God has put us together, and yeah, it is quite interesting, in my opinion anyway. And I hope you guys will find it interesting also. So, this is it, y'all. You just have to stay tuned for that one. That will be coming up soon. And when I do that one, I will do the drawing for the giveaway. So, all of these people that ask questions are in that drawing. And, yeah. So, I'm going to close for now because I'm just going to start rambling and chit-chatting like you're right here with me because, I just like to talk, y'all. I'm sorry. And my little chihuahua is sitting over there just about to bust a gut. Come here, baby. Come on. So you can say hello to everybody. I love you too. Say hello. Say hello. See, she's excited. Hey, baby. She's in Mama's lap. Oh, don't. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'm going to close for now. May you all have a wonderful and blessed day. And I will see you in the next video. And I love you guys. You are so wonderful. And, oh my gosh, I just love you. I can't keep saying that enough because it's so true. So anyway, may you all have a wonderful and blessed day. And I will talk to you later. So, bye from North Carolina.